and welcome back to Miranda's Cauldron. Let me just change that banner because, well, this is the first sprint, not our last. And I was running a little late because after Jenna's sprints, I'm like, I really need a snack. So I decided to do a snack. And what snack? Fruit Loops and chocolate chips. I got chocolate chips about a month ago when I wanted to make chocolate chip cookies. And I have that yet? No, I didn't. So they've been sitting there. So I'm like, I think I'm going to have some. Let's see who's already here. It's Sarah swinging by to like the button on my way out for the afternoon. Happy sprinting and hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Just in case you pop in later. CJ, so ready to do more writing. Hope everyone's well. I know I am. During Jenna's sprints, I got my task blocks summaries all figured out from last week. Let's just say I didn't do as much writing as I wanted to do, but I did rewrite chapter 1 for Witches of Solace, rewrote it, weaved it all in from the 1,700 words that I already had in that chapter, and ended up with 2,800 words. So that was productive. It took me a while, but hey, it's done. And Jenna's in waving and tagging the like button. And we have Chloe. Hello. I recognize your name at Other Hearties Sprints. So that is cool. Thank you for popping in and subscribing. Laura, a friend of Shirley's, getting back to my work in process after a long time. Thanks for letting me join you, Miranda. Just to subscribe. Laura, I'm assuming Shirley has an essay crow. I really need to get back to her sprints on the weekend. She usually does Fridays and Saturday mornings. But lately, I've been kind of neglecting the getting up as early, which probably because I normally look after school-age kids in the morning until the bus comes. And I'm usually up at 6:15. They haven't been at my house. I guess since March. I had them a couple of days earlier in the month, but nothing the last couple of weeks. So I've been sleeping in. And sleeping in for me is about 8:30, 9. So I've been missing her sprints. And we've got hello to CJ. So glad to see all of you with us. Yes, we have a full house. My little eye icon is saying there's 7, which is fabulous. So much fun. Because usually, if I'm lucky, if I get 3 people, and then I go back in and do the views, and I've got anywhere between 10 and 15. So, you know what this means? If there's a lot of people during live sprints, and I can do that an extra sprint today because I don't have the kids, which is really good because it's a no school day here. So that means I would have had 4 kids from about 6:30 till about 5 today. So I'm kind of glad Dad had the day off. But I'm supposed to have them the rest of the week, which is good. Okay, we've got some hellos. And Jenna says, yeah, it's similar to Cheerios. I like Cheerios, especially the Honey Nut Cheerios. And Fruit Loops, I usually don't get them very often, but they make a good snack. I might have to pack for the next convention. Oh, yeah, chocolate chips. It's like fabulous. But personally, I don't do dark chocolate. It has to be the milk chocolate, even though dark chocolate is better for you. We've got an update. Alyssa is going to be mapping out my fantasy world. Hope to get some writing done, but still trying to figure out what my fantasy novel is going to be. Maps. That's what I always do first. I do a lot of urban fantasy, so it's like in a town that's not a makeup world. And it's always, I do my village map first. I draw all the maps for my homes, buildings, hangout spots. I have one series that I'm still drafting. I'm not done yet. I think I'm about halfway done. And it's set in the 90s. And the town is my hometown. So it's kind of fun. So I did kind of like what it's like now and what it was back in the 90s. Because it's supposed to be a fictitious town. Like, I'm not calling it that town. It's like a made-up name. And I even used my old high school. And that was fun to draw because it was like totally from memory, because the last time I was in that high school would have been, I think my daughter might have been a baby. So like maybe 24 years ago. And I did pretty good for memory. I've shared it on my personal page, and people that I went to school with or attended that school, they were really good with input. So I totally agree with mapping. I haven't had Fruit Loops in forever. Well, they're so good. Hello all, never been here before. Happy to be here. Chocolate milk break. Good break. And hello, Hope. I recognize your name as well. I recognize a lot of these people's names from the Harleys. Jen, hello. And hello to Shadowheart. And good for your engagement. Yes. It's nice when there's so many people. Okay. One thing I like to do at my sprints is I draw a moonology card. And in honor of the full moon, I think I'm going to use both my decks. I have the manifestation as well as the just plain oracle cards. And Yasmin Bolin has another deck out that I really need to pick up. I believe it's in my wish list in my cart. Hey CJ, I'm good, thanks. I'm nearly finishing with planning out the new book. How are you doing? Planning? Yes. I also start with an outline. I did kind of pants a beginning of a story. I got maybe 20,000 words in, then I got stuck. And I really liked what I was going, but it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't me. But also my characters were a lot older. Like, I usually write main characters about 15 to 16. I have one book that has like a few main characters that are 17 and 18. But these characters, they were like in college. So they were like 20, 22, and it was difficult. So that's just in a binder, set aside for later. But because of that story idea, it kind of merged into what I'm calling Maple River. So it's been kind of fun. Or is it Maple Creek? No, Maple River. Because there's the town called Maple Creek in Saskatchewan. So I'm like, I can't use that name. Okay, so the card for the regular oracle cards is Full Moon in Pisces. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. That's for that card. And I will do the other one for the pretty purple ones. Gotta like my purple. Okay, so for that one, CJ is currently free writing to figure out a tricky part in my thesis intro. Thesis. Oh my goodness. You've been working on that for a long time, CJ. I'm Shadowheart. I'm hoping to finish the last scene of Act 1, so happy to be joining in with the sprint today. I've not been writing for a while. Doesn't matter how long you write, as long as you're doing it and you're enjoying it. Personally, I started and wrote my complete novel, even though I quite often don't count it, because it was 1984 and I was 16 when I wrote my first complete novel. It's like a slasher. If you ever watch the movies back in the 80s, they were pretty campy and pretty bad, especially if you rewatch them now. But if you're a teenager in the 80s, you enjoyed them. And then my next novel was set in 1984. And I started writing that in I think it was about 2006, 2007 kind of deal. My daughter was quite the little helper. Some of the characters are kind of based on her and some of her friends. And there was one time when I was reading it to her, and she puts her hands on her hip like she might have been like 7 or 8. She says, "Mom, Emily would not talk like that." Or, "Mom, Alexis would not do that." It's like, yeah, well, I guess she'll know. Okay, so I'm going to draw this card, and it is first quarter moon in Scorpio. Release your blocks. So those are the 2 cards for the beginning. I am going to bring up the timer, and I'm using the kitty timer now because when I was using HK Darkwood's timers, which are great, I use them quite often if I'm just sprinting on my own. But my internet didn't really like it. It was always buffering and going slow. And if I had a guest, well, it froze. Hope is working on character arcs for my series. Are you a pantser? I love the cheesy horror of the 80s. No, I'm more of a discovery, a plantser. When I write my outline, I start with about the first 10 chapters. I already have an idea what's going on. I've been thinking about it for a while I'm doing my drawings and picking out characters. And then usually depends, sometimes by like the 5th chapter, it totally changes. Like for the one I'm drafting, I knew the main characters are going to go explore one of the girls' basements and going through all her grandmother's trunks and things. Well, let's just say she did that. They did that in chapter 2, not in chapter like 5 or 6. So I had to totally change. And then with Witches of Solace, that was pretty good. I kind of stuck on for the first 10 chapters. But then my main character fell in love with someone else, not the one that I was thinking she would end up dating at the end. So that changed. And there was a character who kind of revealed his secret to the reader, but not to the main characters. And I didn't want the reader to know about him until the main characters did. But I left it because it was good. CJ about her thesis. It's taken a while trying to get it fully developed is to not only finish the current degree, but also to serve as a space to figure out what direction I want to take with work I want to do later. That's pretty good, pretty cool. I couldn't even imagine writing a thesis. But then I never would have thought I could have written 4 complete novels, 5 complete novels, and 2 partials. And just the idea of actually going to that next step of uploading at KDP and getting a proof copy, it's been kind of scary. So I think I've been kind of putting it off. But I'm doing that in June. No ands, if, or buts. I have to do it. I have to get that copy in my hand. I'm learning that works for me, and it's been a serious learning curve. I'm outlining the whole series now. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do this for the first one is 20 minutes. So I'll see you in 20 minutes. How did your first stream go? Your first sprint? Hope everybody was productive or planning or resting, whatever you needed. I'm going to go back to read some comments that I either missed at the end or came in the first few minutes. Hope says, I'm learning what works for me, and it's been a serious learning curve. I'm outlining the whole series now. The whole series, oh my goodness, that is fabulous. I have, for the book that I'm going to be launching soon, I have the first two books done. I still have some editing and I think I've got about halfway through book 2 with final revisions, hopefully. But I've been saying that for years now. So that won't be ready for beta readers next, probably later in the year. And has book 3 and 4. All I know is I want to write book 3 and 4 because it's to do with the elements, earth, air, fire, water. So I know I have 2 more to do with that. I have bits and pieces of what I want to cover in book 3, but I have no outline. Not at all. I'll start that when I'm done with book 2. And you totally agree with this. Characters like to have a mind of their own. And that's what I've heard a lot of writers that happens. You got that. Upload the copy. Yes. And I did notice that Mama Maggie, she shared a video. It's about half an hour long because she does proof copies for her final edits. So I still have to look through that. I think I've been putting it off because I'm not quite ready because I wanted to get a couple of the chapters all figured out for Witches of Souls for my critique partners. Shout out to Sarah Cannon and her Publish and Thrive course. You don't only get to do the workshops and the videos and all that with Sarah. If you want to, you can get paired up with other writers. And sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. My 2 other ladies are amazing. Just amazing. I love their stories. I actually purchased Shelby's books 1 and 2 of the Broken Huntress and the Midnight Huntress because we were going to be listening and critiquing book 3. So I'm like, well, if you're going to be reading book 3 to help her, you better read book 1 and 2. And oh my God, they are amazing. Urban fantasy with witches, with a twist. Fabulous. So good. So good. And so exciting. Excited to read it one day. Thank you. And right now we have this little link here with HK Darkwood is sprinting now for the next 3 hours. So if you're into stream hopping, check hers out. She likes the 45-minute sprints now. And she sprints on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at this time. And she, like I said, she sprints for 3 hours. And here's the direct link for Jody Jean Daniels. She's sprinting at 8 Eastern. And check out her channel if you haven't already, because I do believe, if I have it written down correctly, she is hosting every single day this week. Today is her normal time. She's doing a pop-up Tuesday and Wednesday during the day, like afternoon type thing. Thursday is her normal nighttime sprint. And then she's even doing Friday again after Jenna. I mean, not Jenna, but Angela. So between Angela and Sarah's coffee chat, check to make sure she is sprinting. I mean, she's doing the coffee chat on Friday because with the summer holidays and all that coming up, it's not going to be irregular. And Hope asked about my link. I don't have a link, but I'm on Instagram. We have Mama Maggie popping in and liking the scooting through to leave a like. Okay, what else? Oh, we have Jenna realized the outfits I needed for this weekend's graduation. I'm traveling to on Friday for Saturday. Needed washed. Shocker! I'm willing to wear a dress. And then I did a bunch of tiny and mid things. I was curious if you were hosting Friday because I didn't see it. And then I remembered, oh, she was away again this weekend. So that explains it. And Jenna saw the video and loved it. Laura, I don't have a word count because I'm working on taking the scenes I've written and putting them in spots where they belong in the story and within my outline and beats. Oh, so you write out of sequence. I can't do that. But I understand a lot of people who do. They know their scenes, they just write the scene out and then add it whenever. I need that pairing. I might have had to start saving up again so I can do that course for that. It's really handy. Like sometimes, just like anything else, like if you're remember those group sessions that you had to do in elementary school, high school, and college, even work, sometimes you just don't hit it off. But sometimes it's great. Like there was usually in groups of 4, our fourth never even responded. So who knows what happened there. And we could have gotten a fourth person. I'm going to make it like an even 4. But right now we're just going to stick it to ourselves because with the different time zones, because for some reason, which is fine, we're not complaining at all. But one of the ladies is in Australia. So we only have like one day that we can work for us. And with the time change, like we can't have it during the day because that's like sleeping time for them. But yeah, if you can, that is awesome. And hi to Angela, and she needs a picture in the dress. Since I'm taking, I will remember to share one. Okay, just gonna share a picture. And yeah, taking the weekends off. Okay, over the summer. Okay, perfect. Okay, so no Friday nights. Okay, and Leslie is for sprinting Tuesday nights. That's the night that I have my mastermind group, but it is earlier in the day. So if I don't have the kids, because they usually show up about that time, so I'll have to see. So many new people running the HB since I attended a couple years ago. Yeah, there's a few. And on GD Robinson's run from last Tuesday, she was talking about doing a different time. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, it looks like Jenna also loves the group that she's matched with. Okay, I am going to stop talking because it's been an extra 5 minutes. That's what happens, I suppose, when we've got a lot of people and everybody's letting us know what we're doing. So for this sprint, I am going to change the kitty timer to 30 minutes, and that's going to be the 30 minutes sprint from the rest of the session. So we've got 30 minutes, and we're going to stop. Oh, let's try that again. 30, set time, and start. See you in 30 minutes. And I did not hit mute. I was still muted. That happens sometimes. Okay, well, I'm just going to repeat that all over again. Anybody here participate or does the HP90 method? Well, I do. It's been amazing. I did it so I can keep balance between home life. At the time, I did not babysit kids, but then when I started it, I started looking after 4 siblings before and after school. And well, April went straight into Rough Draft Challenge, and I knew I wanted to do final edits of Lear, 18 chapters. There's about 55, 60,000 words. Well, I got that done, even though I was sick for 2 weeks. So I had not done the reflections from last quarter. I didn't even do the month end for March. So I did that, and I tallied up all my task blocks because I really wanted to take care of my time. I didn't want it to be always napping or watching TV. I don't consider reading wasting time. TV, it's wasting time unless it's in the evenings because I have literally all day to do all my writing and tasks. Well, I'm about halfway done this question, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I think the next sprint, I think I'm going to be doing something a little bit different because I'm getting kind of tired. And exactly, reading fills the well. Like if I hear so many people who say they don't read, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't read? Like I could, like last night I was reading while my husband was watching the replay of NASCAR. Then it was all done, and he's like, do you want to watch Sullivan's Crossing? That's one of the few shows that we do watch together. And I'm like, do I really want to watch Sullivan's Crossing? Or do I need to finish this book? I've got like maybe 40 pages left. But nope. I watched TV with hubby. And then instead of reading the paperback, I decided to get back to the book I'm reading on my Kobo. Actually, it's not Kobo, but on my phone. I think it's actually that book final. So I read there for about 2 hours. I'm like, okay, it's 12:15. I probably should be sleeping. So yeah, so we're gonna catch up with the chit chat. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Angela is getting her Kanban board set up for July. Almost done. I tried the Kanban board. It didn't work out for me. Maybe if it was like where I can see it all the time. Then I also tried Trello with lists. I just didn't want to keep going onto Trello every day. So I kind of don't really have a Kanban board, but I have on my little Post-its the tasks that I want to get done for the week. So that's been working pretty well. And then on Monday, I check it off to see what I got done and then throw it in my basket. So this is from all of this year so far. So it's been working pretty good for me. Let's see. CK loves HB92. Still free writing, but starting to get untangled. Great. And reading fills wells in so many ways. And reading makes me happier person and a better writer. Exactly. That's what I think too. Like, because then you pick up different ways of how not really compare, but it helps you with your writing. It's exactly. I lose time when I read. Love that when that happens. Not so good for the planner though. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Angela reads at least one book every week because a feature, an author, and one of their books on my blog. Wow. I'm not a very fast reader, but I do have to admit I'm a Hunger Games fan. And I actually watched the movie before I read the book, which I know is like, wow, that's crazy. But I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm like, okay, I really need to read these books. So I read the books back when the movies were out, and then just recently, the Sunrise of the Reaping came up in book form. It's with Hemage. If you haven't read the book, if you're a Hunger Games fan, bring Kleenex. It's a tearjerker. So I decided instead of reading Sunrise of the Reaping, I was going to go back and read the trilogy. Oh my goodness, I think I read so quickly. I was amazed. Like, I think I read one book in like 2 weeks, which may not sound very fast, but it's fast for me. And I'm also going back and rereading the Terry Goodkind Sort of Truth series. I'm almost finished the last book of the Nikki Chronicles. Funny story. My daughter, she was in one of those old bookstores. You can get new books as well as old, like reused books. And she's like, Mom, I've got all these Callan and Richard books here. Have you read this one? Have you read this one? And I'm like, yes, I've got that one on my Kobo. So I had to show it to her. But she found the fourth in the Nikki Chronicles. So when that is done, I would have read the last book that he's ever written. I did go through read the Children's of Dahara, and that's pretty good. But I'll tell you one thing: if you hadn't read his series, it's pretty dark, pretty brutal, and some of the scenes I had to skip over. Okay, submerged in character experiences. Angela, if anyone here has published a romance soft in either contempt, historical, Regency, please reach out. Okay. Check out with the Heart Breathings writing community, or even their sharing for the Hearties group. That might help. And yes, Sword of Truth. So after I'm reading the Nikki Chronicles, I have to go back and continue with the series. I think I may have 3 more books to read in the main series and then do the extra series. Lots of reading. Okay, so I chatted again for almost 10 minutes. Maybe next break I will be able to share with my animal spirit card. So in the meantime, I'm going to stop this and start again for 30 minutes. See you in 30 minutes. And then we'll decide if we're going to do another sprint. See you then. stop the timer because I have 2 more questions to do in my reflections from the first quarter, and I am exhausted. I was going to do like another 20-minute, just kind of wrap up, but I am so tired that I so need a break. I've been writing. I wrote for, no, I haven't did any words today. I've just been working on HB90 stuff. The 3 hours with Jenna with the lunch, and then the 2 hours with myself. I had a little bit of a break in between, but not enough to call it a break. So I am going to call it early, but before I go, I'm going to do catch up of the chat. Jenna left, leaving this open for playtime to run errands. And Alyssa, thanks for coming. Glad you're here. Maybe you'll pop in regularly on Mondays. Depends on the time on Mondays, because Sarah C. Brody does in the morning. I think it's like 1 Eastern, which I know it's not morning, but for me, it's morning. So I usually sprint after her. But since today's a holiday in the States, Jenna decided to host a pop-up. So I'm like, I'll just go after Jenna. So I normally do about, let's see the time difference, 3. Yeah, I normally do 3 on Mondays. Well, Eastern. And I thanked her for coming. Angela, I finished putting my Kanban board together. I'll have a video on my channel on Wednesday. Awesome. Thanks for the sprints. Thank you for popping in. CJ, oh, thank you for popping in, and it's great to meet you, Laura. And Tangle Sorted. Now I have before we go, I have a little video I want to share. Let's see if I can find it. Just kind of one of those 20 seconds of glitter kind of stuff. So here we go. And there we go. Just a little something I created on Canva. So I will see you guys. Oh, we have another comment. Oh, I already said that. Okay. So I'll see you guys all over at Jody Jean Daniels this evening. I believe it's at 8 p.m. Central Eastern. I quite often just read a paperback or read Save the Cat during her sprints. Kind of a good way to unwind for the day before I spend the next 3 hours reading a book or continuing reading. Blessings to you too. Bye for now.